Welcome to another episode of the Daily Reset. Today, we continue with a crucial conversation we started yesterday. We are looking at beliefs. And I gave you yesterday 4 questions, which are the baseline, the foundation for interrogating a negative or limiting belief. When you have a belief, especially one that causes you to be distressed, you ask those 4 questions. Is it true? That's the first question. If you think it's true, the next question is, can you be absolutely sure that it's true? That's the second question. So the first 2 questions are about interrogating the roots to make sure that we are not dealing with an illusion that has been created by the mind. And then question number 3 is about the cost. What does it make you feel? How do you react when you believe this limiting or negative belief? So the first 2 questions is interrogating, making sure we are not dealing with an illusion. Question number 3 is counting the cost. The question number 4 is finding the opportunity. Who would you be? How differently would you show up? How differently would you act if you did not have this negative belief in your mind? And that's the conversation I want us to carry forward. Yesterday, we were only able to speak to a couple of people. I would like to get at least one of the people from yesterday so that we demonstrate with that person before I pick a couple of new people to try and move this conversation a little bit further. So we will proceed. I will just show you that list of the universal beliefs. This is just a few out of about 65 universal limiting and negative beliefs. Now, each one of you will resonate to some of this, and you will resonate in different ways. You have your own variety of the universal belief. So, for example, people are judging me. The reasons, the extent, and the origin of that belief will be different for everyone. And that creates the opportunity for you to discover, what is my personal brand of this belief? And once you discover the personal brand, then it becomes easier to locate it and uproot it. It's like finding a piece of software on your computer. You have to know where the control panel is and go to the control panel, then and install it from that right source. And you have to know, what is this belief, what is the label, so that when you go there to search for this piece of software, you know what you're looking for. Are you looking for an antivirus like McAfee? Are you looking for a writing tool like WordWeb? What specifically are you trying to uproot? That is the unique flavor of the specific negative belief that you are going after. So this is just a sample. And among these ones, there are 3 of them which are almost everyone struggles with at some point in their life. And one of the most painful ones, one of the most burdensome ones, is that first one. People are judging me. And here is for me, the one aspect of that limiting belief or negative belief that baffles me the most. You know, we say, I don't allow people to treat me like that. I don't allow people to talk to me like that. I don't allow people to behave towards me like that. We have that kind of standard where we know when we are being mistreated. We don't apply the same standard when it is us. We treat ourselves in ways, if somebody else treated us the same way, it would be a big problem. How many times in a day would you allow somebody to ask you the question, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? But how many times in a day does that inner voice speak like that to us directly? It may use different words, but it's still the same thing. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? We would never allow another person to do that to us. So we have a standard that faces outward, where we declare it. We even go down on social media and say, don't allow people to trample all over you. At the same time, you are trampling all over yourself. I am trampling all over myself. The time when we are concerned about people judging us we are on the seat, on the throne of our life, judging ourselves. Such that other people can walk away, but I can't walk away from me. You can't walk away from you. So we continue living from that perspective, and that is the power of uprooting this belief. Because once we remove the other people from the equation, then we realize that we are just seated, and that's part of the process that we will do today. So I would like to get a volunteer from among the people we worked with yesterday, one volunteer, and then we can use that volunteer. Then we'll see how many mini hot seats we can do today. Do I have a volunteer? At the count of three, I will. Okay, James, come on. James has volunteered. I'm going to stop sharing the slide so that I can highlight James. James Mugwe, come on, James. I have found you. There you are.
Good morning and good evening, Doc. I'm not sure I'll be able to turn my video on. It's raining heavily and
That's
the
all right.
network tends to, yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. I know that you left the city and went a little more peripheral, so that's all right. I already know you and Shalene are more peripheral than we usually speak. Remind me your belief again from yesterday.
My belief from yesterday was that I know what people are thinking.
How has it been today after we decided that it's time to suspend that belief for at least 7 days?
It was initially difficult in the beginning.
Yes.
Even before I left the house, I had to constantly remind myself, you know what, we've packed that for today. We are not carrying that with us. Leave it in the house, even before I left. So it was initially hard to accept that it's no longer something that I will allow to run its course during my day. But as the day progressed, it got easier, and I found myself caring a little bit less about other people's opinions, and I was able to be free within myself to do the things that I wanted to do without the fear of, oh, Fulani is thinking in this direction about me, the other person is thinking in the other direction about me. So I found that my day had much more freedom and flexibility.
Give us a very conservative estimate. About how many times did that belief try to rear its head today in the course of your day?
Oh, conservative. Okay. That would be 15, around 15, at least 15 times that I remember.
So the 15 times that you are conscious about.
Yes.
So this is and I'm asking you that because you are, as we do this work, there is one thing you're going to discover, that that belief shows up in its original form and in its clones. So this belief shows up in many other ways. It has tentacles, and those tentacles spread and they show up in very, very concealed and subtle ways in other areas, such that you will probably have been conscious of only a segment of the number of times it shows up today. But then there are also other areas, other ways that we are going to discover that it shows up, that it showed up in the course of your day. But would you, on a scale of 1 to 10, to what extent do you feel that that belief remains deactivated by the end of the day?
By the end of the day, on a scale of 1 to 10, I feel like it remains deactivated at a strong 7.
A strong 7, all right?
Yeah.
So this belief is like a campfire. When we set up a campfire at night, we enjoy the warmth, we sleep. When we wake up in the morning, we don't complain that the campfire has gone out. We wake up and put up the campfire again. So the process of deactivating it is going to be a battle. You're going to battle with this belief over and over and over. Every single day it shows up, you verbalize it, and that will be my strongest recommendation. If you are at a 7, you've already made so much progress. But verbalize it, particularly when you find yourself alone. Just say that I am not, I'm permitting myself to no longer XYZ. Just verbalize that belief. Verbalize that belief. When it comes up, just say, oh, there you are. even if you're just whispering it to yourself. Do not keep it in your mind. Find some way, some
Mhm.
physical gesture that you do that keeps your entire nervous system aware that you've noticed, you've noticed, you've noticed, you've noticed. What is going to happen is that you will find yourself catching yourself when you are engaging in a different limiting or negative belief. And that's the goal.
Uh,
The goal is for a belief to show up that is not the exact one you are suppressing, but for you to catch yourself wondering, why do I have this belief? Why is this belief showing up in this environment? I hope that makes sense to you, James.
it does.
All right. So let's say by the end of the day, we've suppressed the belief that people are judging you, right?
Hmm.
But we haven't solved the problem that there was judgment in the consciousness. What the brain is trying to do, what your conscious and subconscious mind are trying to do, is to find who is responsible for this judgment. So there is judgment, and
Yeah.
we are ascribing it to someone. We are giving it. It's like coming home and finding an elephant in your living room. You have to explain it. Somebody brought that elephant there, right?
Yes.
If if we agreed that people are not judging you, right?
Yes.
If people are not judging you and there is judgment, who is responsible?
I am responsible for that judgment.
Right? So the initial belief was people are,
Well, the initial belief was, I know what people are thinking.
oh yeah, yours was, you know what people are thinking. So let's, so let's, so there is a concern about thinking. There's a concern. Let's just explore it a little bit deeper. Why is it, why does it matter to you to know what people are thinking?
I I guess growing up, there was always the pressure to, well, want to please the people who are older than I am or above me. And it usually helped to know what they were thinking so that I could do exactly that. And I guess in as much as I have grown, I haven't grown out of all those things.
Wow. you just you just went right into it. We are afraid people are we are afraid of what other people are thinking because subconsciously we we have the need to meet other people's needs, even if it means sacrificing our own welfare subconsciously. And it starts quite close home, really, really close home. And we can't blame anyone for it. It's just how life is set up. What is going on in your mind, James, as you think about this?
Um, I'm thinking, why has it gone on for this long? Why wasn't I aware? And if I was, why wasn't I acting upon it sooner? Because I believe had I discovered this earlier, I'd probably have made much more progress than I have right now.
Yeah. What are you thinking about yourself now with regards issues? This is something that usually it's best to do it face to face. If I had you on video, it would have been easier for me. Don't try to turn off or on video, but let's see how to approach this. Um, if people were thinking about you, right, and they were thinking
Mhm.
something negative about you, and somebody, let's say it's somebody important to you, they were thinking something negative to you, what do you feel is probably your deepest fear. What's the worst that would happen to you if somebody that you care about was thinking something that is not necessarily positive about you?
Uh, there's a fear that I might end up alone. Should they act on that and decide to leave or walk out or just leave me alone? So that's a fear.
What environments or circumstances or events have involved anything similar to that before that might be the origin of this?
Uh,
You may not necessarily get to the answer, but that's something, because that did not start right now.
mm,
A clinical officer working at a level 5 hospital, a referral hospital, being abandoned is not something that you are dealing with right now, or rather creating right now. It is something that you've inherited. The question is where was it inherited from?
mm. I I
I
believe it's
know
something I got.
I
Mhm.
know how much processing this is going to require, which is why I'm just not rushing you through it. This is going to require a lot of processing. The amount of freedom just in James, and just unlocking that one belief, the amount of freedom that is going to come out from it, it's unbelievable. Just the amount of freedom that you get from stepping out from that belief, not the belief itself, but what is the origin, what is causing it. Because otherwise, if the origin remains, if the source remains, we'll continue working with this belief for a long time. So the goal is for you to try and step beyond the actual belief and see what lies behind it.
Okay.
I know it's going to require a bit of processing. This is my assignment for you, right?
Yes.
What is the deepest fear associated with this? You've pointed out to abandonment. See whether, when you ask yourself why that matters, see whether there is anything else that comes up. But if that is the farthest you go, then now
Mhm.
it is figuring out whether there is any pattern of significant experiences that have happened earlier, and you can go as far back as you can remember and see where any of those experiences are. But most importantly, without going to dig really, really so far back, it's a question of how do we reframe it? How do you reframe it? Now you have suppressed the belief, but how do you reframe the deepest fear so that the deepest fear does not attach to something else or to some other explanation, such that the fear, because the fear of abandonment, if it's present, it's probably originates somewhere else, but we may not get all the way to wherever it originated from. It is reframing it in such a way that you begin to have freedom right now, so that even when you are, for example, at work, you are not subconsciously afraid that if you tell one of your colleagues that their diagnosis was probably not accurate, that they are going to quote unquote abandon you. So my recommendation to you, ask yourself several whys around the abandonment question, see where that comes from. But in terms of what the power to start using right now, right? The power to use right now. First of all, let's reframe that belief. Now it is facing towards other people. It needs to turn towards you, so that now you fully have control of it, and you can not just suppress it, but actually almost get power to uproot it. You are afraid of what people are thinking, right? Now
Yes.
you need to start verbalizing the opposite. I am not afraid of what people are thinking. but you're not just verbalizing it superficially. You're actually going deep, like to the point where it becomes normal for you to hear it. Because you are going to
Mhm.
say, I'm not afraid of what people are thinking. And then the next room, when you walk in, there is a patient and the family members, and immediately your mind goes back to that negative belief or limiting belief that you're worried, or was my explanation enough to them? The interactions that you have. I hope that does that make sense for you?
It does.
Okay, let's start there. Let's start there. Could we get? Thank you, James. I'm going to see if we can find someone else. It's oh my. All right. Finally, my camera is up and running. My apologies. Right. Could we get? I'll get someone else today. Find someone new. Wanjiko, could we have you? I'm gonna get Wanjiko and Rachel, and so this segment it's not going to be as long just because of time, but as long as we make some progress. Who else? And Isabel. So I have Isabel. Okay, let's start with Wanjiko. What was your belief yesterday?
My belief was I have to work hard.
You have to work hard. Why is that
Yes.
important to you?
Because I have to overcome very many obstacles.
What obstacles, for
That means,
example? Give me an example of an obstacle.
mm, uh, for one, where I work, I'm in a male-dominated field,
Hmm.
which means I usually feel like I have to do 10 times more what everyone else is doing. And when I say work hard, it also means physical work hard, not just the mental part.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't work hard,
If I don't work hard, I will be a failure. I will be left behind. I will
if you're
not be up to
mhm,
what others are doing.
if you're left behind,
It is, I will not match up to what others are doing.
if you don't match up to what others are doing,
I will not be successful.
if you don't match up to what others are doing,
I will be deemed as a failure.
if you don't match up to what others are doing, just try. We'll find it.
If I
Okay, I'm
don't
going to
match up
say
to what others
okay. I'm going to say I will and just say what comes up. I will, then say come what comes up. If I don't match up to
fail,
I will,
mm,
I will,
I will be
I
the
will,
last one, not succeed.
I will.
I will feel like a failure.
Yeah, so the reason why we got there and kind of got stuck is because now we've stepped away from what the mind needs to give you, and you are stepping into what it will feel like. Because what you are afraid of is not what you will think, it is what it will feel like. It's the emotion that you are afraid of. The discomfort doesn't come from the thought, it is the feeling. And what does it feel like for you when you feel like a failure? Because that's unique for everyone.
It feels bad. It feels
What's bad?
I
Describe
lose
to
my,
me. Hmm.
mm, I am not confident. I do not want to face a new day.
Okay.
Yes.
If you fail, you lose your confidence. So I'm taking you there, and this is for everyone, to show, just to reiterate from what we spoke about yesterday, that that belief is anchored somewhere that it makes you uncomfortable for an emotional reason, but the belief itself is a mental, it's a piece of thought that you think. And that connection, the power that you are releasing the power that you're wasting in self-protection, right? You deactivate this so that you no longer have to protect yourself emotionally, okay? Right, so let's go back to your main belief. Just say the limiting belief again.
I have to work hard.
Yeah, you have to work 10 times harder,
Mm,
right? Is it true?
yes. No, it is not.
What does it make you feel?
If it is not true,
What does it
freedom.
make you feel when you think when you think it like that? When you believe it?
When I believe it is not true.
When you believe that it's true? Because now we are saying that it's not true, but generally when you think about it, it feels true, right?
Yes, it is
Mhm.
frustrating. I'm actually tired even before the day begins.
That's shouldn't be laughing, but it's true. You wake
Yeah.
up in the morning, Monday morning, you are actually more tired Monday morning than Wednesday afternoon
Yes.
because,
Yes.
right? Who would you be? How differently would you show up if you did not have this belief?
I'd be a bit more relaxed, less rigid, less uptight. And I'd also not, because also the fact that I think I have to work hard also comes the thing that people are also judging me, which means if I show up, I'm expected to do what other people are
Yeah.
expecting me to come up to. Yes.
So you realize we went all the way deep, then I decided to bring you back to step back because I believe that you're just having listened to you, your main belief is not about hard work. It is about
Mm.
judgment. That's the main
Yes.
belief. Except
Mm.
it is
Mm.
masquerade. So hard work is masquerading in such a way that you think it's hard work. It's not. It has nothing to do with hard work, right?
Mhm. Mm.
Yes, and it's judgment. And it's not that people are judging you. We know that we can't know that they are judging you. Is that true or not?
Yes.
It's
We
that
can't know
Wanjiku is judging Wanjiko
ourselves.
and
Yes.
finding Wanjiko guilty and punishing
Mm.
Wanjiko, right? So
Mm.
I think the main belief for you, especially the environment you're in, is people are judging me. So we know that that is not true, right? But there
Yes.
is judgment. So what is the truth? And the truth is
Everyone
always
is
found.
busy doing their own
Yes, but
things.
yes, everyone is
I'm the
doing their
one
own
judging.
thing. Everyone is doing their
I'm
own
the
thing.
one
So we've
judging.
removed them, but we've remained in
Mm.
the room with Wanjiko, and there is judgment. Somebody brought the judgment into this room, and we know it's
I
not
am
the
the
other
one
people.
judging.
Yes.
I
So,
am the one guilty.
yep, yep. So that is the source of your power, and the reason to suppress that belief is so that you create room to process what is going on. So the new belief now, the new belief that you need to rewrite. You suppressed, you deactivated one belief over there, but now so that you can get rid of the smoke screen, and now you can rewrite the actual belief. The belief that is impacting your life is Wanjiko
I am
is yes,
capable.
I.
I
No,
am
before you get
capable.
there, if before
Mm.
you get there, the
Mm.
belief that is operating in your life is I am judging myself,
Yes. I am
right?
judging myself.
Yes, I'm using them as a smoke screen to judge myself, right? What is the way out of I am judging myself?
Self-confidence and celebrating my small wins, and also knowing I am there because I am capable.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. How come there are no other ladies in that office? It's not because this cause couldn't take more ladies. It's just that
Yes.
you qualified to be in that office. It's was there, what did they send a makanga to the street? They're like, engineering, gari ya mwisho engineering. Okay. You qualified, you worked hard to be there, didn't you, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so that we can close up your part. So before you implement those active actions, the first step is for you to notice the times that the belief is active. So the rest of this week, the most important step for you is to notice when you are thinking that they are judging you and you verbalize that I am judging myself. You are just
Okay.
utilizing them as a smoke screen, but it is you judging you. If you knew
Yes.
what they were thinking, you will not be judging them when you hear what they were thinking. You will use what they are thinking to feel bad about yourself. In other words, you are making them resources. You are outsourcing your self-judgment to other people. So for the rest of the week for you, Wanjiko, when that thought comes up that somebody is judging you or somebody is disrespecting you, anytime anything comes up that X, Y, and Z, someone else is doing X, Y, and Z to me, you flip it. I am doing X, Y, and Z. I am judging myself. I'm disrespecting myself. I am ignoring myself. When somebody ignores you, when somebody, uh, because there are times when it feels really, really true that they are doing this. But if once you remove them from out of the question, it remains with you and your belief and your emotion, and it impacts your experience, right? So we're creating room so that you can have more emotional room to actually make the actions you need and implement the decisions that you need to implement to continue dominating and really controlling your space so that you're not tired Monday morning when you should have a lot of energy on Monday mornings, right? Thank you. Let's go with Rachel. Thank you, Anjiko. I'm going to release you. What was your limiting belief yesterday, Rachel?
Yes, good evening. I missed yesterday, but my belief this day is money will make me happy.
Okay, money will make you. Among those beliefs, is that's the only the one that could resonates with you the most?
Today, yes.
Okay, okay. Did you get a chance to watch the video from yesterday?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, all right. I'm going to give you an opportunity to watch that video. We'll be doing this work the rest of the week. It will be better if we talk after you've watched yesterday's video. Okay. So I'm going to release you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll get back once you've watched that video. Let's go to Isabel.
Yes, here I am.
What was your limiting belief or negative belief?
I am not good enough.
I am not good enough. Therefore,
Therefore, I don't do things right.
I don't do things right. Therefore,
I'm a failure. That's why I fail. That's why I fail. That's why I don't do things. I'm not good enough. So I'm not good enough. So I don't do things right. So I'm a failure. So I don't move. I get stuck.
if I fail, or when I fail,
When I fail, I just feel bad. I don't move. I get stuck.
when I fail,
It's
I
a
feel bad
shame.
because
Yes, it's a shame. I feel ashamed. I don't feel good
When I fail, I feel ashamed because
because I'm incapable to do what I should do.
so who is saying this? Is it a voice in your head? Is it you saying this, or is it a presumption of what people would say when you fail?
I think I used to use both. Thinking
Okay.
also, yes, I ended up thinking that is what people are thinking, or I know what they're thinking about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Also, I keep on saying it for myself. I think that it's a voice that is says a lot to me. Uh-huh. Like Isabel, okay, you were in that position for 16 years,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
so you are not there anymore, and now you are not able to move on because you are not good enough. Yeah,
Let's
that's how.
break down two of those. I'm going to say it to you, okay? Isabel,
Yeah,
you are not able to move on.
it pains me.
Yeah, it's a painful thing. It's the question is it true or not?
It is not.
What does it make you feel? It's pain, but can you try and like what does it feel like physically when you believe this limiting belief?
It makes me to not think, to not move. And physically, there is a kind of emotion, it's like I tremble. I
Okay.
feel
Yeah.
insecure, there is a kind of insecurity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I love that you've identified some physical element. That is the beginning of you actually breaking it. So that, for example, when it comes up, you can describe what is going on. I feel contracted. My breath feels tight. Being able to point out those things such that even if you're out in public or maybe something is beginning to happen, you can describe what's going on. And when you describe, you become aware of what is going on. If you can break that pattern, you lose the grip of the negative belief. It's I wish I was talking about these things from a theoretical standpoint. I grew up rejected by the entire village. I'm a 5, 6 year old boy who has nobody who wants to talk to me because uh, I was born out of, wedlock. And I can remember to date going to bed in the evening at 9:30 and literally physically feeling contracted. And so I know what you're talking about. And until I learned, I got to, I don't know how I ended up stumbling on this. I learned that whenever I felt like that, I just had to do deep breathing and vibrate my diaphragm. Once I did that, my body relaxed. The power of that thought in my mind almost went away. It's the belief goes to works on your brain has the axis, the hormonal axis, the neuro axis. It sends hormones and chemicals, the transmitters, which create all this physiology. So that's why it's important, it's extremely important for you to be able to identify what is it that I am feeling. The reason we get stuck when there's a powerful limiting belief that is active at that time is because the physiology has taken over. Now, if we cannot break the physiology, we have no power to even think about this and evaluate it and break it. The first step is to break the physiology physically. If you take the body where you want it to go, the mind will follow. But if the body is stuck, Isabel, when you say that you feel stuck, you can't move, it is a physical thing. There is the emotional part, there is the intellectual part, but it's actually a physical thing. You think a thought, you believe it, the brain embraces it because this is software. The brain embraces it and it implements it to create a physiology that actually manifests. the times when you feel like that, what do you think your breathing is like? Is it deep or shallow?
I think it's deep, and deep it's accelerated.
Deep, deep, and okay. So deep from anxious or deep relaxed. So all I'm trying to point
Anxious.
out, trying to
So
get from you is, does it make sense to you that when this thing's going on, that your physiology is actually very different. It is a certain physiology that you can tell that your body knows what to do, that it produces at that time.
no, usually I will. Maybe it's not exactly to breathe deep, but I'm anxious. It's that
Okay, I
the
see
heart
what. Yeah,
will accelerate. The
yeah,
heart will accelerate, and I think that somehow I I prepare. It's like even before the event, I'm
yeah,
already thinking that this is what will happen. And when it happens, it pains me. I will tell my Isabel, I
yeah,
told you, you have seen, you failed, you did it again, you did that mistake again, you are not
yeah,
able to do, you are
yeah,
really not good enough. And then I will I
yeah,
keep, in fact, I ended up judging myself and also thinking that the people know that I failed, I didn't do it well. And sometimes it's amazing that I can do it, I can do something, and then people come and congratulate me. Isabel, congratulate, you did it well. Isabel, then I also these people. Why are they saying that I did it? Because by myself, I don't believe, let me say, it's like I don't believe in what I'm doing. I don't believe in myself, in my capability or my ability. But then I'm surprised because people will like or will learn or get something from what I do. But this fight this battle is in me.
yeah. So do we need enemies? Do we need haters?
Not at all.
Why do we need haters when we are doing such a good job already?
It's just calm.
We do such an amazing job, because unfortunately, haters can, whatever, if there are haters out there, there can be haters, but they don't know all your secrets. But you, you know all your secrets. So if you need to collect evidence to judge yourself, you have all the evidence. Nothing can be hidden from you, right? I've only met you once, and this was my perception. I saw influence just in terms of how you carry yourself. There are several people who were present during the book launch. I saw influence, but it's possible for me and other people to see influence in you, which you do not. Even if you have it, you find yourself or in a zone where it doesn't register to you the same way that it registers to other people. It's the people and anybody who was present during the book launch. If what I'm saying from your perception of interacting with Isabel, if it's true, just type a yes. I know there are a couple of you who are present. We won't be able to get to the other part, Isabel, but I hope that there has been a bit of value for you from this segment. For you, the first step is to be aware of the physical pattern that manifests, the physical pattern, and commit that at the time that this starts to happen, you describe it verbally. I'm feeling tremulous. I feel anxious. I'm breathing faster. Like, point them out verbally to yourself. And then you do the opposite. If you feel tremulous, if you feel anxious, one of the best things to do is to actually stretch. Stretch and then do like controlled breathing exercise. If you need to sit down and do sit-ups or maybe push-ups, whatever you need to do, you need to break the pattern physically first of all. You can't try to work with the mind with a body, a physiology that is out of state, that is already deranged. Once you've broken out, then it's now to question the belief itself, but most importantly, to rephrase the belief. Question to you related on what you said. So, Isabel, can you move on or can you not move on?
Yes, I can.
You say it in such a way that I can't believe it. Just, I didn't feel any power in it. Can you move on?
I can.
It's if Is anyone else convinced? I'm not convinced. Can you move on, Isabel? Can you?
Yes, I can.
Yep. It's there is what I'm trying to get you to is that when it comes up, you're not going to think it in the mind and break the physiology. You actually have to do something physical. Because the end point of every negative belief is the physical feeling that we have, the emotion associated with how our body ends up being. When we are afraid, we contract. When we are anxious, we contract. When we are afraid of judgment, we contract. Everybody has a different flavor of contracting. Some people, when they are contracted, they go and look for chips, or they could look for ice cream, or when other people, when they contract, they want to sleep. Other people, when they contract, they want to find something, and maybe they shout, or you find your flavor, and then you utilize your flavor to break out of it. We will
Okay.
end it there for you, Isabel, and
Thank you.
Gladys, I'm only seeing your message now that my video was off. Thank you for pointing that out. I will highlight myself. Has there been any insights from? I see. So Isabel, we had Sylvia, James, Florence, and if you look at the chat box, you will see what they said. I think the most beautiful one is Sylvia. She saw radiance in you. Radiance. You need to write that word down. It's radiance.
Okay.
So
Thank
the
you.
next time you feel that you are not enough, just remember you are radiant. Right? That's something that other people saw in you. Any key takeaways? We are almost at 6:30, and this is unfortunately what happens whenever we do the mini hot seats. Any takeaway? Tomorrow would be slightly different, but any key takeaways? Then we'll be out of here. Thank you for joining the Daily Reset today.